What is the number one thing keeping him, who must not be named, on this team, in your opinion? What's the number one thing keeping him here? Because honestly, they brought his replacement in. Mm-hmm. He's a dead man walking, to use a crass phrase. We all know that he's history soon. So why is he still here?
Well, I think it goes back to my conspiracy theory of Kyle Shanahan keeping him here to give himself more time because he reset his timeline with this organization. When you trade for Trey Lance, you understand that this is going to be something that you have to let him see through for years. And if Jimmy Garoppolo plays well, then this team win games. And also it pushes off that sort of development. And he doesn't have to answer those questions right away, or he doesn't have to rush that process. So I will say that, one, I think this organization is afraid of just immediately turning it right over to Lance. And they want to go with something that is very familiar. And I think it's a little bit of Kyle being able to reset his timeline also, because if Jimmy Garoppolo, doesn't play well, then cool, you can turn it over to Lance. But I don't think that he wants to go right to Lance right away. I think he wants to take his time. And I think that's really what has kept him around. And then when you point to the record, it almost seems easy. It almost seems very easy. That's
what I was going to say. It's the record, right? It's the record. Because if it's all about Lance, as it should be, he's the future. You've given up on Jimmy. Lance is here. You traded everything for him. Then Jimmy's too expensive to be a bridge quarterback. You don't need 27. You could get Andy Dalton. You could get Mitchell Trubisky. You could go cheap and then just say, well, Trey Lance will be ready by week 8 or whatever. But you can't just kick out a dude who's 22-8.
And you have to remember, Kyle Shanahan needs to have a winning season.
He needs to have a winning season.
He needs to have a winning season. Not for me. You know how everybody else is going to start looking at this if they have another season where they don't play well up to expectations. And even if it has to do with injuries, it's still just the noise is just going to get louder. So he has to do what he can to win as many games as he can this year. So,
and I mean, some people say well, it's a Super Bowl roster. He took him to the Super Bowl once before. He didn't play well in the playoffs, did he? His quarterback rating was 75. He was terrible against the Vikings. He didn't do anything against the Packers. And he had a very bad fourth quarter in the Super Bowl. So I don't think that's why he's here, because he wins in the regular season. And they're not going to just throw that away right now, just yet, I would think.
Right. Yeah. And like I said, and all those other things definitely contribute to it. But I agree with you.